Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. So everyone wants to know what is going to happen with markets. Pre-market was absolutely brutal. How is Wall Street going to react? We already know how Bitcoin and crypto reacted. Over the weekend, there was a brutal sell-off, and we had the largest liquidation event in history. So are we going to see the same thing today with Wall Street? And are we going to see more bloodbath? Let's discuss. Well, obviously the tariffs, right? They are going to be put into place tomorrow. They were signed. The executive order was signed over the weekend. And Canada is panicking. So is Mexico. And so is China. Now, Canada is panicking in not a good way, because they have retaliated. Rather than have open discussion, Canada decided to just retaliate and throw 25% tariffs as well on all American goods. So they're trying to look tough in front of Trump. I don't know if that's the right move. Mexico is not doing that. China is not even doing that. They want to come to the table and talk. They want to negotiate. They don't want to start a trade war, but Canada is starting a trade war. But I saw this for the very first time. Trump has said what he wants, right? Because before, when he signed the executive order, he didn't actually say specifically what he wants. Now he did sign the executive order. So he didn't actually say specifically what he wants. Now he did sign the executive order. He didn't actually.
President, what does Canada and Mexico need to do for you to lift the tariffs? What are specifically you want? That have to balance out their trade, number one. That we've got to stop people from pouring into our country, and we've stopped it. They haven't stopped it. We've stopped it. They have to stop people from pouring in, and we have to stop fentanyl, and that includes China. Fentanyl has killed this year at least 200,000 people. It's pouring in from China through Mexico and Canada, and they've got to stop it. And if they don't stop it, the tariffs are going to get worse, a lot worse.
Okay, so that was like three different things among three different countries, kind of all convoluted together. So if I'm placing things together, number one, the trade differences, that needs to be balanced out. Trump has said that about Canada before, right? Number two, stopping people at the border. I'm assuming he's referring to Mexico on that one, right? Rather than us always trying to build a wall and stop people. So he's, looking at Mexico for that one. And three, this fentanyl thing. He's blaming China on that one. And that's coming through both sides, Canada and Mexico. And there's a trade deficit too between US and China. So it's kind of like all these things all together. And that's why he's just like bundling them all together. So these are his demands, right? And he said, you know what, this doesn't end there. The EU's next. EU doesn't take our cars, doesn't take our farm products, right? We're going to impose tariffs on the EU soon, and the UK. So Trump is looking at throwing tariffs everywhere, left and right. He wants to balance out the trade worldwide. He feels like no one wants our products. We take everyone else's products, but no one takes our products, and this is not fair. So we'll see. We'll see where this goes, right? The main point is we want the trade to be fair. We want American goods. We want all these companies to start manufacturing in the U.S., to start building and hiring here, stateside, but that's going to take time, right? It's going to take time for them to make that move. So in the interim, does that mean price of goods are going to start skyrocketing, right? And does that mean that inflation numbers will start going to go up? And in a surprising move, Trump was bashing Fed Chair Powell for not cutting rates. And now he changed his mind and he said it was the right move not to cut the rate in this last FOMC meeting. In a total 180, he was really bashing him on Truth Social after this last FOMC meeting last week, saying that he should have cut and he caused inflation and he should have done something about it. And now he's like, yeah, it was the right move not to cut. Really weird. I don't know why. But one thing that's coming out of this is China, supposedly, it's been rumored that China's coming to the table. And this trade deficit thing, they're ready to make a deal where they will be buying a whole bunch of American goods to kind of stop this trade war thing from escalating, right? So this is exactly what Trump wants. Now, I don't know if this is going to actually solve everything or if this is going to even go into place, because from the details of this, what they really want are those chips from NVIDIA. They want to expand upon technology. It's not like they want to buy more Ford cars, okay? They want to buy AI chips. So I don't know if that's actually going to come to be. So we'll see. But how does this all relate to Bitcoin? As you can see, Bitcoin's coming up right now. Rather than go down, it's coming up. And a lot of crypto are recovering a little bit, just slightly. We're not pumping back up to 100,000, but we may. We have seen this before. It's not like we haven't seen this level before. In fact, last month, we saw many times where Bitcoin dropped to this level. So it's not like we're at some unprecedented level, okay? We have seen this many times. But there are some that think that the tariff escalation could actually propel Bitcoin forward. Not downwards, maybe temporarily, maybe just, slight hiccup, distraction, but we could actually go higher because of this. Bitwise thinks so. Now, why do they think so? Well, because they say Trump, with the tariffs and everything, will likely drive down treasury yields by weakening the dollar. And when you weaken the dollar, that means lower interest rates. And that means, well, when the DXY goes down, right? When the dollar goes down, interest rate goes down, investors are going to put their money somewhere and they're going to put it into Bitcoin, right? That's what Bitwise is arguing. Obviously, yesterday, that didn't happen, but long term, they're saying, because the tariffs, this tariff thing is, if it's going to last for years, eventually Wall Street will, they'll get used to it. Right now, it's like overreaction once again. Whenever we have a big sell-off, it's always an overreaction. But long term, if that's the case, right, it could definitely be good. And if you think about it, if the price of goods, if inflation starts going up again, what is that going to do? That's going to cause Powell to cut rates, right? That means we may be cutting back down to zero. The only problem is if we get back to zero and inflation is still going higher because of the tariffs, then Powell has no more ammunition left. That's the fear, that we may get to zero and inflation starts going up. Then what? Because that's the only thing he could do. There's nothing else he can do. Hopefully we don't get to that point.